Where I am now, better than before, through those open doors. Where I am now, where I am now, I'm in a special place, a tender warm embrace. Where I am now. It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. Where I am now. And if you like to see us live in WGPL 1350 studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page or Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton's Facebook page. And guess what? You can see us live right here in WGPL 1350 studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to www.christianbroadcastingcompany.com or 1400 AM or 1350 AM. And guess what? You can hear us all over the world. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Mr. E. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Would you, could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace 95.3 FM and WPCE 1400 AM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Not only do you like, share, comment, and subscribe, make sure you go down to YouTube at Crystal Records 1 and subscribe and like.
That's CRISTO Records 1. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. And you can see all of FYI Radio shows right there.
Absolutely. Miss Yolanda Tiller, good morning. And all that are on, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for your support. Mr. E.
Yeah.
What day is it today?
Today is Hump Day.
It's Hump Day.
That's right.
Middle of the week. You all are up and popping, I hope. I hope this is going to be a wonderful day. I tell you what, it's beautiful here in the Hampton Roads area, sunny. I think it's about 70. It's going to be 73 degrees today. Just beautiful, perfect weather.
That's right. That's right. If you got anything to do after the storm on last night, get it done. Get it done now.
Mr. E, you all had a storm last night.
Yeah, there's thunder and there's lightning.
Well, I didn't know. I noticed the rain, but all that other stuff,
yeah,
I didn't even hear.
After I saw the Lakers losing last night, they started clapping outside.
Goodness. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
No,
because people were predicting that the Nuggets would win.
That's right. They was predicting that Denver would win it because they're a package all together.
Absolutely. They've had a great season, and they're just on the move. But this is not the last game they'll be playing. They're going to be playing what? The best of?
Best of 4. They can do it that way, or the best of 7.
Okay, we'll see. And we'll be talking about that more on Sports Talk on Monday.
Yeah.
In the meantime, this is our Wednesday segment. What's under the hat? Issues concerning men.
Part 2. That's
part 2.
Yeah.
And we're saying part 2 because if you were with us on Monday evening, we had What Men Want, What Men Desire. Part 1. We had a lot of special guests.
That's right.
A lot of guys that joined us myself and Edward Everett, aka this the E, we were on, and it was a great conversation.
Now, if you want to go back and see that, all you have to do is go to YouTube, Christian
Yes.
Records 1, and guess what? You can pick up Monday night,
Yes.
part 1 of what issues concerning men, what's underneath the hat after dark.
Absolutely. I love talking about what guys want, they desire, because, a lot of people claim, or a lot of women, I'll say a lot of women, Mr. E, claim that men are not as verbal, they're not the greatest communicators, they're talkative, but, it's hard to get stuff out of y'all.
Well, Miss Hinton, there's a reason for all that because.
But do you think it's true, first of all?
Well, I think it's true. I really believe that it's true because one, we have to make sure that we have it all down pat, that we have the right wording, the right definition that we're about to say. We just can't run off at the mouth because there's be a lot of folks that's gonna misinterpret what we are saying.
Well, one of the first questions that was asked was, were you heard as a boy?
Yeah.
As a child? And pretty much everybody said they were, in a sense.
Yeah.
But for some reason or another, they felt as though they did not have the right to say a lot. Some of them came from the generation where you have to be seen, not heard.
That's right.
You cannot be, heard. You can't say, you can't back. You couldn't back talk.
That's right.
One of the guys said that a lie in his generation was a curse word.
That's right.
And so, a child basically had to stay in his place.
That's right.
Even if you had opinions and things like that, you were kind of like, hey, you just go with the flow.
And then you had to be a man. You can't cry. You cannot.
Oh yeah,
cry.
Man up. Men don't. Did you hear that kind of stuff? You don't cry.
Yeah.
Cry. You cry. You'll cry, baby.
You can't show that emotion like that because if you show that an emotion that you got a weak side, a crying side, then they'll think you weak.
So that was a great discussion.
Yeah.
We're going to have young ladies on, and we're going to talk about what women want, what women desire. We're going to see how that conversation pans out. But we're going to do part 2 here on our FYI radio show live. And we want you all to chime in, those that are in the chat. Mr. E's going to give the number if you want to call and, talk about what men desire and what they want. We have some things here that we think that men kind of like focus on. They feel like they need, they want. And we're going to be glad to just have this discussion. We want to welcome again some of our friends, Yolanda Tillis, Sheila Davis, you all, Sheila Robbins. How you doing, dear? Thank you all for joining us. We look forward to hearing from you as we talk about what men want and desire.
The telephone number to dial is 757-624-9475. That's 757-624-9475. Ladies, get your pens and your pencils. Everybody, get your pen and piece of paper so that you can jot down some interesting things that will help you to understand a man.
Now, Mr. E, let's find out what men want. You think they want? Do men want relationship?
Yeah, men would love to have relationships. They would love to have a relationship, but sometimes, Ms. Hinton, when they're in a relationship, they get to the point. Men are like, okay, I got it going on, so I'm in a relationship, and then they get comfortable being in the relationship because they don't realize the same thing it took to get her. You got to continue to do the same thing to keep her.
Well. Okay, well, let's start with some of the things men want, and then we're going to backtrack on talking about relationships and, not just, with a man and a woman, but with family. Does he desire family? Does he desire a better walk with God or a walk with God, period? But we're going to go with some of the basic needs of a man. And Mr. E, give us some of the basics.
Ms. Hinton, there are 5 basic, there's a whole lot of basic needs.
A whole lot.
But according to the scriptures, we have
according to the scriptures,
we have 5 basic needs, like in Ephesians 5, verse 22 and 23 and 33. We see that the 5 basic needs of a man, because one, they need the Lord for one. We know that.
Yes.
But here's what a man needs. He needs admiration and respect.
Uh-huh.
She understand, and appreciate his values and achievement more than anything else. She reminds him of his capabilities and help him to maintain his walk with God and also his self-confidence. She is proud of her husband and not out of duty, but as an expression of sincere admirations for men she loves. For the man she loves and with who she has chosen to share her life with.
Okay.
He needs sexual fulfillment.
Okay.
She becomes an excellent sexual partner to him. She studies her own response to recognize and understand what brings out the best in her. Then she communicates this information to her husband, and together they learn to have a sexual relationship that both find repeatedly satisfied and enjoyable. According to Proverbs 5:15 and 19, and Songs of Solomon 4:9 and 5, and on. He needs home support. He needs home support, and he also needs for her to be attentiveness.
Oh, that's right.
He,
Okay, attentive. That's good.
right. He needs her he needs for his life to be compa- compliment companions. Yeah.
He needs
He
companionship.
needs
Okay.
for a life companion.
Okay, he needs her attractiveness.
That's right.
She
That's
is
right.
possessed of inner and outer beauty. She cultivated Christ-like spirit in the inner self. She keeps herself physically fit with diet and exercise, and she wears
So
her
her
hair,
figure
makeup,
eight
and
won't turn
clothes.
into a figure O.
Woo, well, I tell you what, some of this stuff got to be. Well, anyway, his need for life companion. Those are some of the things that men need. But and that's marvelous. But what I want to know from men, what do men need for men beside what he would need for a woman in a relationship? A man is not just relationship.
Right. Right.
He is there some other basic needs that
He,
he
he
that he needs and desires. What are some of those things, Mr. E?
he need to be understood. He
Okay.
need for somebody. He need that for someone that will understand who he is and the directions that he's going.
But what about he needs a sound mind and he needs to make sure he takes care of himself? He talks about, the woman and making sure she's fit for him. But, there are things that a man needs. Doesn't he need to take care of himself? Do men take care of themselves? Do they desire those great, nice, wonderful bodies? Do they desire, just being in good health? Do men pay attention to good health?
Well, some men, men really wants to be a provider. They take
I
care
like
of their
that.
bodies. They take care of their health. They make sure that able to go to work and bring home the bacon.
Well, there you go, one right there. I know men desire and need work, and they need money.
That's right.
They
And because
need
they're
that
gonna have
all.
to take care of their family.
Yes.
So what some men do, they get up and go to work and be a provider.
We have to give kudos to men because they have been the provider for a long time. I know in my mother's generation and her mother's generation, they were homemakers. They
That's
stayed
right. That's
home,
right.
and the man took care of everything financially. He took care of a lot of the
That's
business.
right.
And so, he was the head of the home. He made sure he cared for the home, and he served. This generation is a little bit different because usually both people work.
That's
Now,
right.
is that a desire? Because I've heard this, Mr. E, that a man desires that his woman go out there and make that bacon too.
Well, I think that a man desires that his woman will take care of the children and stay home
And what generation?
and in the last generation, but in this generation, everybody out there calling, getting out there going to work.
But I think everybody wants to work in a sense. I think women want to work; they want to fulfill their desires and stuff like that. But men, definitely, a lot of them, and this is what I hear that they like. Now, look, that day is over. You all get out there and share. what you call it, Gabrielle Union and her husband say they 50-50 on mortgages and the bills.
That's right.
So it's a whole different mindset.
When you do that, that means that everybody pulling their weight. That means that it's no sense of woman going to college and she's getting a great education to sit home to fry egg or to cook some chicken. You don't need that education to fry egg and cook chicken. You need that education to help build a better home, to help for you and your husband to rise above. You need that education when one fall that the other one help pick him up, to help guide him, because there's a lot of changes coming in the world as far as finances, as far as dealing with the business matter, dealing with this. And sometimes men don't understand how to pay bills and the value of a dollar and how to make it holler, because a woman knows how to have that dollar hidden in the right places and the right, for that need time.
Well, she has it, but Lord knows sometimes, both people need to know how to manage and steward. And so I'm curious about this generation and how they're stewarding. First of all, I'm curious about this generation if they desire to marry. Do men desire marriage? I mean,
in this
generation, I tell you what, even if they're getting married, a lot of them are not staying married.
Listen, the telephone number to dial is 757-624-9475. Do you think in this generation they desire to get married? I don't think so. I think they just want to live as friends, buddies, and pals. I don't think they want that responsibility. I think that what is happening, that in previous life they had seen so many ups and downs from their mama and them, from how things were operated before them. I think they done seen so many.
Well, they've seen commitment, because anytime you have unconditional love and you go a mile and a half with each other, you got to put that in the mix. It's not, people are not going to get along 100% even in marriage, but some marriage in the past, most people stayed together for some reason or another. Now, this generation may be kind of like you said, kind of looking at things and saying, well, I don't know, I'll wait. Maybe they're waiting longer to have children, waiting longer to get married. But we wonder if fear is a part of the package, or if it's like, look, I don't have time for that. I'm so busy behind that coin, getting that money, and securing a future for myself. Chris Hinton is on the line on our chat, www.beergods.com. Chris, what do you think? Chris was on our panel.
Yeah.
They are getting married later. Single, they're single longer. I got nieces and nephews that like, hey, we just haven't gotten to that yet.
Some telephone number to dial is 757-624-9475. Is this a new day and age? Is the world is dictating something to this new breed, this young folks? Is the world has accepted them to be, well, if you want to stay together, it's okay. If you just want to be partners, or you just want to live together, it's all right. Versus the days of old. Back in the days of old, if you caught living with somebody, then that was cut your throat, send you to hell,
it was also the day the shotgun wedding too. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real now. These people got married. Everybody's getting married, but some of the circumstances wasn't the best. But hey, like I said, they stayed together.
That's right.
But Mr. E, we're talking about needs and want. You don't want to force people into commitments if they're not ready or don't want to. Maybe this is the day and age when people don't want certain things. You're going to find a certain time when a whole lot of folk don't feel the need for God. I mean, we're going down that road too. It's like, at one time, people depended on God. In our community as Black people, God was our anchor.
That's right.
We that was the thing, the church and everything. Some people now don't have a need for that. They don't have a need for God. They don't have a need for marriage. They don't have a need for children. I think they have a need to work. I think they have the need for money. But what is it that has changed the mind of this generation in the sense of, hey, we're going to go after what we want. What we don't want don't make us.
I also think that in this generation, they don't fear God. They do
Some
not
of them.
feel
Some
fear.
people.
Yeah, some folks don't. Some folks
Even
do.
older folks.
They do not fear God. They do not fear that God is, who He is. I think that they done got to the point where everything that you see in the world is the way it's supposed to be. This generation is a free and easy. Let it happen. What happened, it happens. AR-15s carried the big guns and running away from home and just doing their own thing. Here's the thing that men need. Men don't want to be controlled in their relationship.
Wow, that's good. That's good.
Men do not want to be controlled. That's 21 things that a man needs. He do not want to be controlled. Why can't we just be together and we understand one another and not saying you the boss, I'm the boss, because when a man said he's the big boss with the hot sauce, it kind of put a different vibe in the spirit of a woman. So men really don't want to be controlled. He wants to have a mellow relationship where we can talk things over and not argue. The telephone number to dial is 757-624-9475. Men want confidence and secure partners. They want somebody to be into them. Be into me. Be into me where I can confide in you. Where I can tell you my deep, dark secrets and you won't look at me cross-eyed nor cockeyed.
But you know what? You made a statement that men don't want to be controlled in their relationship, but they don't even want God to control them. Men they coming around a little bit as far as the church, but there is a time when men wouldn't even go to church. They didn't want to be saved. They didn't want nothing to do with God. They wanted to do it without God. So they're asking and wanting to be certain things. But what about that relationship that they need the most, which is God, and they run from it. And so how in the world, when you're running from the one that has made you and can make you well-rounded and make you more of a person and a man, you're running from that, but you're running to another person who has the same needs, and you're looking for them to make you whole. Well, go to the master first.
That's
and
right.
then you can come into relationship with another individual, and it could work out very well. But people are doing things backwards. They do not want to depend on the one that has given them life, but want things all perfect, and then expect an imperfect person to give them what they want. I don't understand.
Miss Hinton, when I begin to read that men don't want to be controlled in a relationship, no man like to be manipulated or controlled by his partner. Women often believe that they can change a man. But it is important to give a man space to be with his friends, have time for his hobbies and his interests, and develop an independent, healthy relationship. Sometimes individual manipulate or force control is only way to get a man to do certain things, particularly if one partner is codependent and looking for a partner to make them happy when they should focus on making themselves happy independently.
Absolutely. And maybe that's the reason why some are waiting later until they get married. People are sometimes looking for people that have gotten it together. They have their business right. They're kind of looking hard and saying, well, that's not the type for me. That's not the one. They are full of anxiety. They don't know where they're going in life. They're confused. And so people are stepping back and saying, wait a minute, this is not what I'm looking for. But I want to go back to the control thing, because a man had been controlled
for years. For years,
I say it like that. Let me say this. And let me tell you why I said that. I was thinking about Eve and Adam and Eve, and the fact that Eve is, she got herself in trouble, but she controlled the man's thinking, and he got messed up himself. And so maybe, it's just a little bit of that dynamic going on even up until this day, where men and women are kind of leery of each other. That neither one wants to be controlled. Neither one, they just want to, be who they are. And sometimes that clashes. Like I said, sometimes, them what they desire and want is not the same thing as what somebody has and some else to give. Or either you're looking for me to do this, and they're looking for that one to do that. And sometimes it clashes.
I really think that some men thinking that after they done broke the apron string from their mama, because normally mama carries the big whip. Mama has control. And so sometimes women figure that, okay, in order to get this right man, I have to be like his mama. Men don't want no mamas. They don't want.
Are you sure? There's a mama boy.
Some of them are mama boys. Some want to be like their mama, but because what you're doing, mama made them rotten. Mama spoiled them. And so now if they get somebody like mama, then you're going to have to make them codependent. They're going to have to lean and depend on you.
Listen to this. Men desire space in a relationship. Now they want a relationship, but they want space too. Men want a sense of physical connection. Men want good things. There's a lot of great things that men want. They also want security. They want to be understood, and they want to have fun.
That's right. And men want to be accepted for who they are.
Absolutely.
Don't go changing, trying to rearrange. Accept me for who I am. I might have my eye in the middle of my head, but if my eye's in the middle of my head, please accept me. I might not be able to talk like anybody else. I might stutter. Please accept me for who I am.
But we're not just talking about relationship. Let's talk about in the on the job and things like that. Men want to have their own. They want to be able to feel good about their work. They want to be, congratulated and awarded for the things that they do. They really, really would, they want that pat on the back.
That's right. And men just don't want you to dog them out. Just don't make them feel like they're nothing. They going out here day in and day out, and they working, busting their self down to make sure the job is completed. Every now and then you ought to give him a pat on his back. Every now and then you ought to shake his hand and say, you did wonderful. We get to the point where we don't encourage nobody. We don't even tell them how good a job that one has done. So what we do, we say, get out there and get it some more. Get out there and get some more. Get out there and turn around. All I want to see is the back of your head. That means that you are working.
Men want opportunity. Don't keep opportunity. And I'm telling you, we're living in a society in America where men, especially African-American men, our African-American men have been kept back, and other groups too, kept back from opportunity because of the color of their skin. And so, men don't want people just saying, hey, because you're black, we're going to put you on the back burner, or we're going to see to it that you and your offspring end up in jail. We're going to set up a system where, you can fall, you will fall. And so men want opportunity just like the next man, like the next person. And so, that is something very important to a man.
Men want stability. Men seek stability and growth. Mm-hmm. They want to grow up and be the best that they're supposed to be. But when you keep them in a box, when you keep them down, they cannot express, nor can they go to the next level.
Yes. So they need a lot of things. Men need a lot of things. And we had that panel discussion. Are men getting what they want? Are men getting what they need? Are men getting what they desire? You all going to have to tune in, because we're going to do it again on our FYI After Dark. Make sure you come with us on Mondays at 6 p.m. We'll be talking to our men and just digging deeper and deeper and what men want.
And not only that, Miss Hinton, make sure you let them know we'll be talking to the women also.
Okay, on June the 12th, please join us. We have a panel of women, and we're going to find out what women desire.
That's right.
So look, come on over here a little bit. We're going to talk to you a little bit about what's coming up on FYI Radio Morning Show. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. We'll see you back here on Fun Friday.
Time to get to this place.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on WPCE 1400 Peace 95.3 FM and WGBL 1350. Or you can give us a call at 757-714-7861, or you can inbox us at FYI Radio Show live at gmail.com. Don't forget to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful hump day. Bye now.
All right, all right. What men want, what men desire. I made a point earlier, and I really feel as though it is very important to say, men, you have wants and desires, and a lot of those things are being fulfilled, but some things maybe are lacking. But one of the main things I feel, Mr. E, if a man would go to God and seek him to make him whole, I think he would be better off. There are people that have done without, intimate relationships. There are men that have done without having kids and things like that. But how can you live without God in your life, the maker? And a lot of men have shied away from that relationship. I think that brings a lot of problems. When you shy away from the one that has given you life, he knows who you are. He's designed you for a certain reason, a certain purpose. When you're running away from that, what do you expect? You cannot expect a woman or anybody else to fulfill that deep need of a man. She can do certain things, but her woman herself has basic needs, and she has wants and desires that want to be filled as well. But I'm telling you, you gotta have that connection, because that's the thing that's going to truly make you whole. If there's no other woman out there, if there's no good, if there's no children, if you don't have children, if you don't have certain things, at least you have that intimate relationship where God can bring you peace, love, joy, and all that.
When you begin to talk about why men need God, and why they need God, and what men are doing about God, I begin to do some study. Men need God. Some religious mistrust. That's one of the reasons why men don't come to church. Proof of existing of God.
Did you all hear that, Mister? You got to say that slower now.
Mistrusting God. Men need God, but some religious mistrust.
Yes, some of them have mistrust.
That's right.
In God and in the church.
That's right. And so, and then not only that, proof of existing of God, there is more to God than just definition. Religion's views and conversation, future gods, and religious purpose description, God of the future, and praying God for reconciliation and God's guidance. There are so many folks, Ms. Hinton, when we begin to talk about God, men has watched and seen that there is some mistrust, because of sometimes folk use the word of God for their glory, for their vain. And when you get a man in church, and men has relationships with God. Don't get it twisted. Men know God. They may not demonstrate it in the church. They may not go to church every Sunday, carry the Bible, but there are men who has a personal relationship with God. They may not do it the way that you might want them to do it, or somebody might want them to do it, but you can rest assured, in times of need, men know how to go to the rock of their salvation.
Well, that sounds really good. I think, again, men have a distrust in religion, because also religion takes faith. When we talk about God, it takes faith, because some people feel as though, how in the world can you believe in an invisible God? And so, they're trying to wrap themselves around that. Men, they're so intellectual, and, they go by, what's real. They're not in la la land a lot of times. So they figured, hey, God is somewhere up there in the sky with a gray beard or whatever. And, that's all, that's all to that type of thing. They don't want to go as hard. And then again, you say that, when men get in church, what's asked of them. It's
That's
a
right.
commitment. Are they willing to commit? Are they willing to commit to those that have what you call it, the head, the pastors and the other leaders? Are they willing to? And a lot of times, no, they're not going to submit to you, and they're not going to give too much of what preachers and churches ask for, because they feel it's coming out of their pocket. I'm not going to make this a bill. A lot of men say that. I'm not going to church. I'm not going to make this a bill. I'm not going to let a preacher run my household. And he does not have the right to run my wife and family. And so, you have a lot of problems, because the perspective, and I'm talking about a lot of, I know African American people, men have that thing of, hey, the preacher, we're not gonna sit back and go so far with you, because you're a man like us. We're not gonna treat you like you're a god. So men kind of shied away from the church and things. Women are more apt to go into church. They're more committed. They sometimes set up their preachers as gods and things like that. And so I think men, and Mr. You tell me if this is true, men are catching on a little bit more. You find men in church now a little bit more, but they're still kind of making sure that they don't connect too hard and too, and so they can be led, just by the nose.
But see, here's the thing that you got to understand about men and relationships with God. Men has a personal relationship with God.
They do.
They do. They have,
a lot of them do.
They have a personal
A lot of them
relationship
don't.
with God, and when they go to talking to God, they go to their secret closet and they talk. Just because you don't see men in organization. Well, let's look at PTAs. You don't see men at PTA meet participating in school outages. Yes, they should be out there. They should be participating in daddies and daughter dances. Yes, they should be playing a big important role in the life of their family. But you got so many men that's out here trying to keep a roof over their head, trying to keep that dollar in the house. Yeah, they thank God for the strength. Yeah, they thank God for another day of waking up in the morning so they can go out here and make that peanut butter and jelly. So they can go out here and make that money to keep a better roof over their family head. A lot of people may not never understand that. Sometimes we got to understand that relationship that is between him and God. It's not between him, man, and everybody else. When he go to God in secret, in prayer. He go to God looking for direction. He may not pray like you want him to pray, or pray like you know that you think he should, or walk like you. See, here's the thing that we got to go back to point one. A man just don't want to be judged because he's not doing things that other folks want him to do. He may not be like Mike, but he's being like who God has created him to be. He may not be like somebody else, like your father, or like your uncle, or like his brother. He just only identified with who he is. I used to have it hard when I was a kid growing up, because my father and people wanted me to be like my brothers. And I'm only trying to be me, be me, be me. I cannot be Jake. I cannot be Hazel. I got to be Eddie. There lies in me a great man, a great person, somebody that don't want to copy behind nobody else, but wants to allow what God has in me to come alive. That's why you have so many men are not duplicating other folk. They're doing what God has anointed them to do. They may not be like Joe Biden. They may not be an Obama, but they being who God has instructed them to be.
Very good. And our men, You know, that sounds real good, but are men MIA, missing in action? Are they
You,
missing in action in the community? Are they missing in action? I'm just keeping it real. Are they missing in action with their children? Are they missing in action when it comes to work? Are men missing in action? Uh, you know, and the thing about it is, yes, they're great men. I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of wonderful men and everything, but I'm saying they're still, you know, talking to men, they still feel that there is something kind of wrong, something missing. And especially, we had this conversation on Monday talking about the generation that now is struggling. We got gun violence, we have gangs, we have drugs, we have bullying. And so we are trying to get down to the root of the cause. That's why I'm asking, are men in the lives of their children, in the lives of the community, in the church? And y'all can sit back and sugarcoat it all you want to, those that are
but
chiming in. I'm just asking, with so many things that's going on and so many problems, and we'll be talking to the women now. Don't think it's just a man thing. Men, I'm talking to men in particular. Are you present? Are you there? Are you in the community? Are you serving God? Are you in church? Well, however way you do it. Ain't nobody giving you a list of how to do it, but are you doing it? Where are you, Adam? Where art thou? That's what the scripture was saying in the beginning in Genesis. Where you at, Adam? Men, where are you? And why is everything falling apart with the generations now?
you can
And
I
so we need to find out from men, and then we're going to find out from you ladies who's dropping the ball.
can I jump in here right quick?
Go
Listen,
ahead,
you
Mr.
asked the
E.
question, where are thou? You know, Adam, where art thou? You know, here's the kicker part. There's too many men that wants to be men has been run away from being a man.
From who?
From the women.
Women?
The women has
Okay.
manipulated the man. If
Oh,
he
I
don't
like
do
this
that,
conversation.
there is too many men who wants to be present in their children's life, who wants to be present in their homes because they are not like
Did
somebody
y'all hear
else.
that, women?
Them women has a tendency of trying to run him away because he can't keep up. He's not keeping up with the Joneses, or he's not doing what somebody else may do. You know, you see that men really love their children, but there are so many folks are using a bullet, use that baby like a bullet in the gun.
Absolutely.
There are so many men want that to provide in and everything they need for their homes. But see, sometimes, you know, somebody gets in their ear, and it could be their mama-in-law, it could be their mother, it could be somebody else that's ganging up against that man trying to build a foundation. That man is trying to do what all he could do in his house. If you allow, that's two of us in this house, that's you and him, everybody else must go. You know, you get, the Bible says you got to forsake all others when you get married, for you and your mate, for you and your husband. Your mama don't run your house, your daddy don't run your house. It's just you and him running that house. And there's so many folks want to get involved in other folks. Stay in your own house. Stay where you let that man and that woman raise those children in the best way that they know how. Yeah, the reason why God asked Adam, where art thou? The reason Adam had got ashamed, because guess what? He dropped the ball. And when he dropped the ball, he's supposed to have been a security. He's supposed to have been on point. He's supposed to have been the police, but he never thought for one second that she would carry on a conversation with another person, and especially allow that person to have influence in what they're doing.
Okay.
Oh God, you want to catch that. Watch this. Let me say that one more time. See, the devil had influence on the woman, and the woman brought the influence that she got back from another man and brought it into his house. And when he brought it into his house, that he said, well, you see, he said this, but see, nothing happened to it. I'm the guinea pig and nothing. Go ahead and try. But God gave the order to Adam and told Adam, don't eat. If Adam hadn't never ate, but he was persuaded, he was manipulated by his wife.
All right, Mr. E, you got a lot of amen corner, Mardell and Roberta
But
and
that's the truth.
Winner. But yeah, but Mr. E just told y'all the ones that
They
messing up
are
these men.
women are the fault. Women are the cause. Women are.
He
If,
said y'all there. I want to
if
hear from our
if
ladies on
women,
this chat.
if
Mr. E said
women,
it's y'all. That all those in the amen corner. He said it's y'all.
if women had only taken to what they supposed to do, if they got babies by a man, let that man and that woman raise those children. Don't put no outsiders. And what happened was an outsider came into Adam and Eve. He was an outsider. He wasn't married to Adam. He was not married to Eve. It was an influence, somebody that can influence. Well, you got a lot of people saying, girl, you supposed to be living like this. Girl, you supposed to be up here now. That's that outside influence. Leave them folk alone and let them folks do what they supposed to do.
I had a conversation with someone, and we were talking about Monday evening with the young men and everything. And so I think the conversation that we can have going forward, it would be really nice to talk to the ladies and to the men and keep it real, because this is the thing. There are men that are pointing the finger and saying it's you. It's the same thing in the garden. It's you women. And then the women, I can't wait to hear from them. They're going to be pointing the fingers at you all. And so it's going to be that same Adam and
That's
Eve
right.
dynamic.
That's right.
And so, we all have a lot to, give an account for. We all have problems that we bring to the table, but hopefully, we can find out and get to understand one another. That's why we're doing these segments, to get to understand men a little bit more, to find out what they think. We're glad that they're talking. They do have this thing that they think that, hey, it is you, ladies. And but we will find out how we come together and make it so where we can remedy some of those inner things that we are thinking and feeling. You'd be surprised what men really think, and how sometimes how diplomatic they have been, especially like in the conversation we had on Monday. But like Mr. E is sitting here putting the blame on y'all.
I'm putting the blame.
I'm saying, what I'm saying is, it brings out, where we can discuss, what it still goes with what y'all desire, because you may desire that a woman, stop some of the shenanigans.
That's right.
You may desire that she support you a little bit more, and you know what I'm saying. Well, it'll be a better conversation. But
one thing before we jump off, here's the thing: it's you and him, not you and them. Not him and them. See, mothers has to lead. You can go to your mom for advice in cooking. You can go to your mom advice in other things. But in real life, you can't go to your mom and ask her why Johnny ain't doing this. You got to sit down and have a conversation with Johnny and find out what's going on with him.
Okay.
Keep other folks out your business. If you keep other folks out your business, you have a better relationship.
So look, please join us on June the 12th. We're going to have our ladies panel. I can't wait for that. I'm wondering if they're going to be a little bit more open and less diplomatic in a sense, and come out how they feel. They may be pointing the fingers, like I said, and you guys. It's going to be very interesting. Then we're going to have a panel of both sexes in the same room, and it's going to be great. But anyway, Mr. E, we got to go.
That's right.
We got some great upcoming shows. We'll tell you more about that on Friday. Just make sure you join us. Don't forget to follow us and subscribe. Mr. E will tell you how you can be a special guest, sponsor, intern with FYI Radio Show.
And for more information, give us a call at 757-624-714-7861. If you want to be an intern or sponsor, or you want to be on the panel, just email us at Edward Everett Facebook page, Miss Yolanda Lady Hinton Facebook page, or email us at FYI Radio Show at radio show live at gmail.com, and leave all your information there, and we'll email you and let you know that you can be on the panel of some of the things that we are talking about. Yeah. Don't forget to join us Monday after dark show. Oh, it's pandemonium. And if you want to be a part of it, just let us know. 757-714-7861.
See you guys.
2 up, 2 down.
Have a wonderful day.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.